We are going to check in with State Rep Martin Foncello, representing the 107th District. Now, here's the thing. I know you've been doing some wonderful things and some working hard at being a great advocate for our veterans, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up that your committee assignments, things can either get shifted around or adjusted or this and that, and you are doing some new and interesting things as well with the state legislature.
Moved on to GAE because I had some questions about the election process. Always illuminating because you go through the legislation that our colleagues have drafted, and then through the process, of course, it goes through subcommittees, and then you have a public comment period, and you try to put it all together and see what makes sense.
A friend of mine brought up this question once. Okay, there's committees for government oversight, but who oversees the overseers?
That's a good question. I guess you do. You as the public.
Okay.
So you're the answer to your own question.
Just asking, just checking. Yeah.
Who keeps an eye on the people who are keeping an eye on things.
Yeah. Testified on a number of veteran-related bills, and some good things have happened for our veterans as a result.
Yes, actually quite a number of things this time around. One of the ones was a bill I had introduced a couple of years ago regarding giving property tax exemptions to permanently and totally disabled veterans. It got off to a good start last session.
There's also veterans helping veterans through an Office of Advocacy and Assistance.
Yes, absolutely. Most of the towns have veteran service officers, but this kind of consolidates that up at the state level to make sure there is more uniformity, more clarity, to make sure that the word gets out for different benefits for the veterans so it can be disseminated as widely as possible.
Recruitment efforts are getting boosted for our National Guard. We need to have more people commit to some form of service, I believe. Look, Martin, you're an ex-service man.
Yes. Yeah, we do need to support the National Guard. They're our state line of defense here as far as the military is concerned. Benefits that we can provide to encourage people to join are welcome. I think we're doing more in that area now. Okay, so locally in Newtown, you have the Horse Guard. There are 4 units throughout Connecticut, 2 horse, 2 foot, and there was a concern that they might be defunded. We made sure they were funded at least for the next 2 years, the budget period, to make sure we still have them, and then we're looking into ways to keep them funded going forward. But anyway, a lot of history there in those guards. They go back to the days of George Washington, and in fact, the Connecticut ones, they escorted him, the president, and General Lafayette and others. And another point of interest, one of the units had another famous or infamous member in their foot guard, and that was Benedict Arnold.
What are you going to be looking forward to when you guys have to return for session and all that sort of stuff?
They had a couple of major bills that the governor vetoed fairly recently. One had to do with housing and zoning. A lot of people opposed to state control of local housing and zoning. Another one had to do with the union, so that I'll leave that for the moment. But we'll see what happens when September comes around, if we're called back.
Oh, look, there's always going to be bones of contention on both sides of the aisle. Republicans and Democrats in this state have sort of kind of worked okay together. Hey, it almost makes me wonder about you guys.
Well, you have to work together. We're all in a big room over there, and they lock the doors, so you have to get along with the people that are in there. But there are numerous instances where there's been cooperation. And since we were talking about veterans issues, that's a big area where we can work together, and we have. A colleague of mine, lady from down around the Westport area, Democrat, brought to my attention that there had been 2 bridges named in public acts after 2 veterans in Brookfield. This is way before my time. However, now we've looked into it and we've brought it to the surface, and now those 2 veterans are going to get the honor that's been waiting for them. Part of that included, actually, the names of the 2 individuals had spelling errors in them, and the way they were included in the public act. We've corrected that in the bills I introduced this time, so that they'll be spelled correctly on the bridges. Everyone will be happy. One of them is named after Jason Lewis, the veteran who the VFW is named after here in Brookfield.
Now you've beyond fascinated me, because it's not only did they have to wait, but there were spelling errors. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Martin Foncello, rep for the 107th District, I appreciate you spending some time with us today, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.